guys, good morning. It's July 26th. I'm Kimberly from Fat Quarter Shop. I can't even believe that it is almost the end of July. I mean, where has the summer gone? So today we have a brand new cross stitch designer to show you. I'm going to get to show you the new monthly weigh-in series by Stitching with the Housewives. I did a Monaco stitching this weekend, and so I have a review for that. Very excited to show you that. I have my stitch along progress and Cheryl and Jordan's stitch along progress. I have some tease of some new releases, some what's new, and a flash sale. So super exciting. I have a lot of stuff to show you today. So we're going to start with a new cross stitch designer. She is a Moda fabric designer. So this is her most recent collection. Her name is Robin Pickens, and she's a Moda, like I said, a Moda fabric designer. She's been designing for a couple of years. Her latest collection is Forest Frolic, and she designed some cross stitch using this as her color basis and design basis. But a little bit about Robin is she worked in the corporate world and she did broadcast design. She worked designing and animating graphics for TV shows, and she decided to branch out and work for herself. And so she loves to create, whether it's decorating or designing. It's part of her creative journey. So her work ranges from greeting cards to calendars to collections for tabletops and entertaining, rugs, home decor, and designing fabric. So I am going to show you her new cross stitch designs, starting with the three that go with Forest Frolic. And at Fat Quarter Shop, you can find the paper version or the PDF version. They all list DMC thread and they all use DMC fabric. So Acorn Trio is the first one I'm going to show you. And so what she did is this backing is one of her Forest Frolic fabrics. And then this is mounted on sticky board with batting, and then this is a frame from Michaels. The stitch count on this one is 80 by 84. Stitching on 14 count, it comes out to 5 3/4 by 6 inches. She stitched this on DMC Charles Craft 14 count Fiddler's Cloth light oatmeal. So that's easy to find. We sell it and we have a lot in stock. If you don't like working with the DMC because it's very stiff, natural 14 count Ada by Witchell would also work. And again, like I said, everything is listed in DMC, and it's a color pattern, so it's nice and easy to read. I'm going to kind of show you like a little piece of it. So it's easy to read, and it's on really nice cardstock. So again, paper or PDF. And this is mounted on a 6.5 by 6.5 inch board, and it is a frame from Michaels called IKEA, sorry. The Michaels is Jordan, sorry. So this is an IKEA 9-inch by 9-inch Hofsta frame. So this is 6.5, and then this is 9 inches, pattern printed in color. So that's Acorn Trio. The next one is Fall Frolic Sampler. I'm going to leave a little bit on the table so that you can see how they all go together. And these would all be great for Stitchtober. So this one is larger. It's 112 stitches by 139 stitches. It finishes at 8 by 10. Her sample is stitched on that same cloth, DMC Charles Craft 14 count Fiddler's Cloth oatmeal, but your alternative if you want something slightly softer is the Witchell Natural 14 count. And again, stitched in DMC. She mounted this on a 9 by 11 inch board here, floated on Forest Frolic fabric here, and this is an 11 by 14 rustic wood frame, pattern printed in color, And so just so you can see the dimension of it, this is mounted above, and this also is a little bit higher, so glass would not fit in that one or this one. And this is the back of the frame. So again, an 11 by 14 inch frame and a 9-inch frame. And this one, so you can see it dimensionally, kind of looks like this, where it's higher. And then, so you can see this is stitched in one piece, but she also stitched them individually, and you can see that on the cover, and I'm going to show them to you in person. So these are stitched individually, and basically she trimmed these designs down to a 3.5 inch square and turned them into mini pillows. So I'm going to show you the fronts, and then I'll show you the backs. So all the stitch counts vary, you know, slightly. They're about 32 to 34 or 30 to 36. And then she just trimmed them all the same exact size. So you can see, and then on the back, she stitched it closed with embroidery floss, the DMC floss. So it's stitched closed. I think we could zoom in, and you can see the stitches. So basically she folded it under and then stitched. It looks like they're stitched with 2 strands. And then you can kind of see, I'll put them here so you can see where they go in the pattern. So this one has lots of options because you can either stitch it as one, you can stitch it individually, or you could stitch them into pillows. Really cute. And then these fabrics right here are from her Fall Frolic collection. So I'm going to put these here. And thank you to Robin Pickens for letting us borrow these. The third one that goes with Fall Frolic is called Happy Fall Acorn. And it's so cute. So if you look at the cover, you just see it stitched. Now it's finished. This one is 46 wide by 66 high. If you stitch on that same DMC Charles Craft 14 count, it finishes at 3 3/8 by 4 3/4. She stitched using DMC. Again, pattern is charted in color, PDF, or paper, and she turned it into a pillow. And so if you look, and I think she used acorn. What's that called that you put in here? Walnut shells. I think she used walnut shells because these are heavy and I can kind of feel the shells. So on the back, she has one fabric. On the front, she stitched a smaller fabric down here. And then she has a covered button and some twine. So super cute. So you can find those at Fat Quarter Shop. I'm going to kind of show them to you all together. And these look so cute in a dough bowl. So those are the first 3. So let me know if any of you are going to stitch this for Stitchtober. I love that the designs, they are based on quilt patterns actually. So she's a quilt pattern designer, so they are based on the quilt pattern. So if you're just a quilter, there's also patterns that go along with this. Thank you to Rebecca Holt for the super chat. She says, hello from Australia. Thank you, Kimberly and team, for everything you do. Thank you for watching. So I love having a new designer, and I love that they are based on quilt designs. So these next ones are just everyday patterns, not necessarily tied to a fabric collection. This one is called Garden Friends, and I'll kind of show you how the back looks. And, you know, easy to see. So this one is 91 stitches wide by 91 stitches high. And so this finishes at about 6.5 inches square. This one she just stitched on white 14 count Aida by DMC. Again, all of her patterns are stitched in DMC. Pattern is printed in color, available as paper or PDF. And then this right here, this fabric is her thatched chartreuse. So if you want to use that same finishing fabric, it's 48626-75. And this is that same IKEA 9x9 frame where it's high, and she took if there was glass, she took it out. And we're going to zoom in so you can see how she finished this. So basically she made it where the Ada frays across, and then she hand stitched with DMC floss using 2 strands to her thatched fabric. And thatched is a basic fabric that she has that go with her fabric collections and also maintain as a basics. The next pattern is called Happy Sunshine, and this one is 78 high by 101 wide, so it finishes at 5 5/8 by 7 1/4. She stitched this one on 14 count DMC light blue Ada using DMC floss, and she finished this one in an oval embroidery hoop. I'm not sure where she got the embroidery hoop, and on the back is felt. That's the edges are just glued down right here. And the inside dimensions of the hoop are 9 1/4 by 6 1/2. A dough bowl, I'll show you what that is. This is a dough bowl. Technically, it might not be, this one's probably not a real dough bowl, but that's kind of what the style is. The next pattern is called Mod Bloom Box. And this one is very modern. And this frame is pretty thick. So, I mean, it's pretty thick. This one is 71 stitches wide by 71 stitches high. On a 14 count, it finishes at 5 1/8 by 5 1/8. This one she actually stitched on lamb's wool 14 count Ada by Witchell with DMC floss. Again, pattern available at Fat Quarter Shop, paper and PDF. We actually have the exclusivity on the PDF, so that's super exciting. This frame is an IKEA Santa head 9 3/4 inch square white frame, and this one is based on the quilt pattern Mod Flower Box by Pickens, and there is no glass on there. And this is a I think part of the frame, but if I turn it over, it will stand up. So a lot of her items are framed in IKEA frames. The last one by Pickens, and so I'm sure if these sell well, she'll keep doing cross stitch patterns. This one is called Peaceful Posy Wreath, and this one has a stitch count of 126 wide by 126 high. It finishes at about 9 inches square or 9 inches circle. The sample is stitched on white 14 count Ada by Zweigart, stitched using DMC floss, and she finished this in a 10-inch round embroidery hoop. And on the back, she put down some felt, and also the same thing, she glued it down right underneath here. And so what I really wanted to kind of point out to you guys is she's a new designer. She's using very easy frames or finishing. She's using very inexpensive cloth, and she's using DMC. So very easy to get your supplies. Teresa Wertz would like to see the back of the Mod Bloom box. So it sits up. Here's the back. And then it also has this little thing where you could hang it on the wall if you didn't want to stand it up. So the next thing I get to show you is the monthly weigh-in, and this is so exciting. So this came in last week. If you are in the Fat Quarter Shop Club, this has shipped to you. And we've talked a lot about what fabric I was going to use. I could not decide. I had kind of decided between Natural 14 Count Aida by Witchell or Oatmeal 14 Count Aida, and I just could not decide. And somehow, by a miracle, the Monaco showed up one time. Like literally within 1 to 2 days of the pattern arriving, the Monaco showed up. So I actually decided to try the Monaco. I'm going to give you a review of the Monaco towards the end of the live stream. Super excited about it. And what this is stitched on is the called for tea-dyed 28 count Monaco by DMC. And again, the chart comes with 2 different patterns. So I went ahead and stitched the top. This is how your Monaco comes packaged. So we got our shipment in. We ordered it probably in February and it came in July. So all I can say is we ordered a lot. I don't know how long it will last because it took so long to get in. So if you want to use it, we have a great cutting diagram that Denise put together. So you only have to buy 5 packages, and you would cut 2 of the packages this way, 2 of the packages this way, and 1 package this way. And basically that's going to give you the 12 large and the 12 small pieces. And that is how you don't waste any. You only have to buy 5, and Monaco's super inexpensive, so that's great. So like I said, we got a huge shipment. I don't know when we will get another order, but I am excited that it came finally because then it gave me something new to try and to stitch on. Now, if you want to get to this product, basically click on the monthly weigh-in club. Click into the product, scroll down, and in the additional images, there's this, and you can print it. Stay tuned to the end to see a demonstration. And then let me tell you about this. So if you're in our club, you automatically get all 12 of them. We ship them as soon as the patterns arrive from Priscilla and Chelsea. And with that club, you get the pattern and the thread to make both. Fabric is not included. We also sell, if you're not in the club, the pattern separately and the kit separately at a higher price. So if you're in the club, you get a lower price. And so excited that I was able to stitch this. Can't wait to show you the demonstration. And I'm really excited that you only need 5 because that's very affordable and will keep your costs down on your projects. So that's monthly weigh-in. And then now I'm going to show you all my Jolly July progress. I am really getting close to being finished, super excited. The first one I'm going to show you is Mary. I stitched all of these letters on chalkboard black. So the pattern is Mary by Stitching with the Housewives. I stitched on chalkboard black and I changed, the pattern calls for 12 grain, and I changed to bamboo. So I got all the letters done. Now, let me just be honest and tell you these took forever, like 8 hours each. I thought, oh, this will be really cute. This will be like a 2-hour per letter project. No, thanks. So I think this is going to look great. Basically, I'm going to send this to Priscilla to finish, and she has it finished on like a banner, a garland. So I'm going to send this to her, and then my plan is that I would hang this up either probably on my fireplace like hang it and then put something on each end so that it can really have a lot of space and really kind of show out. It looks really good. So I got that done. It just took a long time. So I'm going to send these actually to Priscilla today. So you probably won't see them again for a couple months. So that's Mary. And we have the pattern available as paper or PDF. It released in March at the Nashville Needlework Show. The second project is Santa's Bake Shop Stitch Along. This one is a paid pattern available exclusively at Fat Quarter Shop. I stitched this on white snow on aqua. White snow on aqua 14 count dyed effect by Fabric Flair. And I'm using called for Classic Colorworks, but we also list DMC if you want to use DMC. And so with Fabric Flair, the back is white and the front is screen printed. So this one is a paid pattern that I've stitched through release 3. And the final release that goes right here comes out this Friday, July 28th. So next week I will show you it all finished and you'll see it. But you can kind of tell that this is like a ice cream. You can tell this is probably like a cake or a cupcake. And on these two, I noticed all of these snowflakes were the same. So I went ahead and finished these 2 snowflakes just because I knew since the others were the same, so that'll give me a little bit of free time to have just a little bit left. This one's really cute. I'm not sure how I'm going to finish it yet. And then Mystery Evergreen is a free cross stitch pattern by Fat Quarter Shop. And I'm stitching mine on basically the same exact as our sample, Natural 14 count Ada by Witchell. I'm using called for Classic Colorworks. This is also up to release 3. Our free final release comes out next Tuesday, August 1st, and so that will be this part. And my tip to you on this one is kind of what I focus on is the green. Can you zoom in slightly? Thank you. So kind of what I did is like I would outline my light green and then fill it in. And then I would outline all of my dark green, fill it in. And then I kind of did my ornaments, if that makes sense. And that kind of made it go a little bit faster. And then obviously it's going to say bright here. And then I'm sure it's the finish of the tree and the gifts. And I really love the colors. The pink up here doesn't show up as much as I would like. So if you don't like that it doesn't show up enough, what you could do is either stitch it in the cherry tomato instead of the cobbled peach. You could stitch it with the queen bee more as a star. Or one thing I was thinking about doing is using one strand of cherry tomato and just putting that on top. So if that bothers you, you could do that. Now finished, it looks great. So I didn't notice it. But that's kind of some options if you want to what was I saying? I can't remember what I was saying. This is last year's free pattern. So same fabric, similar floss. This one's called Christmas Time, also completely free at Fat Quarter Shop, finished by Priscilla of Stitching with the Housewives. And we tried to, because this one was so popular, we tried to keep it pretty matchy-matchy and pretty much where you could display them on the same shelf. Can I see the Mary? That letter M. And so again, the next part will come out Tuesday and I'll show it to you next week finished. Val Earl asked if I stitched Mary in columns, and I did. So you can see I stitched up and down. So that is Evergreen, free mystery, Fat Quarter Shop. And then for Jolly July, Stitching with the Housewives released 4 roundabouts. So I'm going to show them first the patterns. So the first one was Hot Cocoa, Home for Christmas, Oh Christmas Tree, and today Kringle Cookie Company came out. Within this is a bonus. I already started stitching it. I can tell you that the bonus has the word Merry in it. And so I have stitched these 3. I'm going to stitch Kringle Cookie Co. plus the bonus and show that to you next week. These are available PDF only. So I'm going to show them to you stitched. I did not change. Oh, you know what I did? I stitched him in gingerbread instead of caramel because when I got the pattern, I didn't know. Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, I stitched gingerbread color instead of caramel because I didn't have their color list and I guessed. The only thing that I changed was in the snowman, I added eyes. In the same blue and the gingerbread, I added eyes. That's the only change I made. These I will send to Priscilla to finish. And these are also stitched on chalkboard black, 14 count Ada by Witchell. So they're not as dark. The fabric is lighter than the ones that Priscilla and Chelsea stitch. But these are really easy. They're like 2 hours, maybe 2.5. So these are pretty quick compared to the letters. And I'll finish the last 2 this week. The next 3 are the first 3 in the Sassy Stripper series. This Friday, the 4th one will come out. So there's Santa and his reindeer, Mrs. Claus and her gingerbread, and Rudolph and the Clauses. And I'm sure on her channel she gives you tips on how to finish this. Super cute. I'm going to send mine to her to finish. Again, stitched on chalkboard black, 14 count by Witchell. And on this one, I forgot the hands right here. I forgot. So somebody thankfully on social media mentioned that. So I've just got to go back in and add these 2. So thanks for telling me. On these, the only change I made was that same thing. I used gingerbread because I didn't have the key code and I just guessed. And I actually just used what I had at home. And then all of them I added eyes to with the aqua except for right here. I did see that some people added French knots for them right there. And I'm thinking I might go ahead and do that. Just add some little French knots or colonial knots to their faces. And this one looks darker. I think this is stitched on the wrong fabric. Yeah, it is. So somehow, yeah, I stitched that on black, not chalkboard black. Unless the dye lot was different. I don't know. I'll leave it. It's fine. Like, nobody's going to notice that except me. And then my temperature cross stitch. Oh my gosh, it's so hot in Texas that we have pink all over the place. So I'm super excited. I'm not excited about the heat. It has been about 105, 107 every day. Super hot. I actually don't mind it too much. I just don't like that my dog can't exercise or go for a walk because the concrete is too hot. Even one time we tried to take him at 10 o'clock in the morning and it was still too hot. So, and he loves to go for walks, but it's just too hot. So I've stitched through this week. So basically I'm doing these about every 7 to 10 days. And I just fill in the temperature and then just stitch all at once. And what was really cool this week, all of these are the same color. So it was super easy because when I did the temperature, it was all the same. So I just got to carry all the way across and didn't have to change colors. And then I started working on Welcome to the North Pole. And you're going to see that I have 2 threads that I have right here. Okay, we're going to zoom in and I'm going to show you. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is Welcome to the North Pole, designed by Primrose Cottage Stitches. They release a video at the beginning of May on their YouTube channel called Welcome to the North Pole Info. So you want to look at that for all their information on the stitch along. I'm stitching along with them. So again, the pattern is Welcome to the North Pole, Primrose Cottage Stitchers. I'm trying to stitch this exactly like them. So I am stitching this on light taupe 28 count Lugana by Zweigart. Do you have the bag with my little, I want to show one thing. And so I'm stitching on that fabric. We do have a thread pack for this and a button pack. And I'm going to show you some things that I did. One of the things is on the train that I haven't stitched yet, there is a change to right here. You need to print this out from the Primrose Cottage Stitchers website. So just so you know, there is a change. So I have that printed. In my bag, I always leave a design board. But what I wanted to show you was, I also went to their website and printed this. I gotta find my button pack. And I circled where all the buttons are, printed this and put it in the bag so that I would remember where all of the buttons go. The one button, there's this peppermint and this peppermint. And then there's a second peppermint in here. If you guys know where that second peppermint goes, can you tell me? Because I haven't figured it out yet. But I keep this in my bag. I do plan on putting all my buttons on at the end. But just so you know, those are the two things I kind of keep in my bag. But I wanted to show you, if you're looking at this, I have never done back stitching like this. So this is how it looks. So I just followed the pattern, but I kind of made it up as I went. I'd never done it, so I wasn't sure how to approach it. So what I decided to do was do all of the red first, and that's kind of totally against what I usually do. Then I came back and did all of my full cross stitches and my half cross stitches. And this one is the reason I decided to do this on 28 count versus 14 count is because there are half stitches. So like at the inset of the O's, there are half stitches. So I did all my X's and half stitches. Then I got a new strand of thread and did all of the back stitches. And I think it looks good. I don't know if I did it right, but hopefully it's good. And then also on the gifts, also there are back stitches. I am doing 2 strands over 2 threads, and all of my back stitching, I also use 2 strands. So I use 2 strands here, here, and here. And then what I have left to do, so kind of what I was doing here, I was doing all my whites, all my light greens, and then I go back at the end and do my dark green, and that's why these are hanging off. And you can kind of see that on the back. That way, I don't want to have to do white last because I don't want that dark green to show through. And I did carry my thread a little bit here. So 2 strands on the back stitch. And how well do I like 28 count linen? So I don't use linen, I use Evenweave. I'm getting more used to it, but I will say I love the 28 count Monaco. I'm gonna do that review in a bit. Oh, we have an answer. The second peppermint goes on the other little house. Let me see the image so I can circle it. The second peppermint goes on the other little house on the row with the other peppermint. This one or this one? You see it? Oh, well, this is the first one. This is the second one, but there's 3 peppermints in there. So there's one more. The wheel on the train, so that's the second. this one, but it doesn't look like it's, maybe it does go there. I'm just going to circle that and go with that because I don't think it's a button right there. But I'm just going to circle that and go with that. If it's different, y'all let me know. And also one thing I wasn't sure is, should I stitch everything and then add the button on top? And I did. So like this one has a little gift that you put right here, but I still stitched it. And then I'll just put the button on top. I just figured, let me just stitch it all and then figure out what to do with the buttons after. I guess I didn't really have to stitch that one, but I think it's fine. But if you look kind of, you can tell under the yellow they stitched there. You can tell under the star they stitched. So that's kind of what I went with. The last 3 packs of chalkboard black I've received have been really dark. Oh, so maybe they changed the dye lot. Because I've never bought the black. So they probably just changed the dye lot.
We're saying that, yes, that's the correct one for you, sir.
Oh, that is the correct one. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So yes, thank you for helping me out. I have it all circled now and I'm ready to go. But this one's been fun because it's more challenging. Obviously, it's 28 count. It's an even weave. Yeah, it's a 28 count Lugana. And I am going to keep this one out because I'm going to kind of show you the difference in my stitching on this versus Monaco. And they are stitching this one section a month. They have a Facebook group called Primrose Cottage. And like I said, follow their YouTube channel for all their information. And if you have questions, because I hope I did this right, but I just want you to know I've never done that. So all I have left to do right here is this train. And then you'll see it again in August when I work on August. And then I think the last thing I finished this week was Pomegranate House. So last month for the Houses on Peppermint Lane series, I stitched the Pinwheel House. Everything on this stitch along was announced on our December 14th, 2022 live stream called FlossTube 186. I am stitching all 9 of the Peppermint Lane patterns. I'm using my own colorway that's in the Kimberly's Houses on Peppermint Lane starter thread pack. I am stitching on the Oatmeal 14 count by Lori Holt on the modeled side. And this one, it probably took me about 8 hours. And kind of the way, this one was easier than the others because at the top, all of the florals were the same. So it was really easy to just travel. And then what I did on the house was I just outlined the entire house in chestnut, which is this dark brown. And then I went back and filled in. And then this part's always super easy. So I have 2 houses left that I will show you in August and September. And one thing I wanted to also tell you is we're going to be working on the Pumpkin House series. And this time I am going to stitch it also individually on a much smaller stitch count that uses 1 thread, 1 strand of floss. And I'm going to tease that in the fall. And we are close to getting our thread packs done and having everything colored. Because when you get the thread pack, it has all our color conversions. And so we're getting further on that. And then I'm hoping to do pillows this year instead of frames. So last night I did a live stream and somebody asked about Cheryl's Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. So she brought it in this morning and she's almost done. Okay, I got it. There we go. It's all in frame. So all she has left is this right here. And this is by Carriage House Samplings. Stitching on 20 count Vintage Country Mocha called for DMC 1 floss over 1 square. And I'm sure when she frames it, she will let us show you it framed. And then look at how pretty her back is. She also made a lot of progress on Glitter Village by Country Cottage Needleworks. She's stitching on Desert Opalescent 32 count Lugana, 2 strands of floss over 2 squares. She is using the classic Colorworks, except for the white, instead of bamboo, she's using B5200, which is a DMC color. And she is using DMC 738 instead of the gold metallic thread that kind of goes around the house doors. And gold metallic thread is just hard to stitch with, so I'm sure that's why. And I started this in 2021 or 2022. Maybe I'll finish it one day. I still have it in the bag. Sometimes I pull thread from it though, so eventually when I get back to it, there's going to be no thread in there. Like I said, when I start stitching stuff, I just stitch the color I have if I'm at home and don't have anything else. And then Jordan, oh my gosh. Okay, so we showed you about 2 weeks ago. This is the first project he ever did. This is from the Cute Kawaii Cross Stitch book. He stitched this one on 25 count white Lugana with called for threads. And then he got this frame at Michael's. It's called Gray and White Mini Frame by Studio Decor 3-inch frame. Is it in the frame section? And then Denise finished it for him. And then, okay, so I showed you this 2 weeks ago, the Ornament series by Tiny Modernist. It has 4 patterns. Which one is he doing?
The Black Magic.
The Black Magic, okay. Wait, I have it the wrong way. Okay, so he went straight from 25 count to 32 count. So he went a lot smaller. So this 32 count Evenweave Hazy Gray by Fabric Flair. So his most important thing that he wanted was a color that he liked. So when he found the color at our site, we only had 32 count in stock. So he said it's taking him a lot longer because, you know, the stitches are a lot smaller, but look how perfect his stitches are, and he's brand new. So that's super exciting. And then he's gonna make this one. Are you gonna make all 4 or just one?
Choose from each series, 4 of them.
So there's more patterns that are coming out.
There's more patterns that are coming out. So he's gonna kind of pick as he goes. And then I'll show you the back. Can I show the back? Oh my gosh, his needle just came out. Sorry. Oh my gosh, it's so straight. He's very OCD. He's worse than me, so I knew it would be good. So, yay, Jordan, we have a new stitcher. Okay, and I am going to answer all the questions that are coming in, so just keep the questions coming. At the end, I will answer every single one of them. So now I have 2 patterns to tease. This is August Stackables. So it's Cheryl stitched it. It's all finished. It's so cute. I love this one. I haven't started stitching mine, but this will be part of my stitching for August. This one will ship to our club members August 2nd. And then we will put the pattern online for sale August 12th, which is 10 days after it gets to club members. And this month, in case you finish yours the same as ours, we have the paddle boards back in stock. And this month, the grunge that Denise picked is Grunge Basics Charmed. So Charmed is the color. And the SKU is 30150-73. And we have got questions about why we don't have a bundle of them. We pick them every month. So we just picked September's, like in July. So we don't pick them until Cheryl stitches everything. And we also has to make sure, we also at the same time have to make sure that the grunge is in stock, because a lot of grunge is sold out. So as we pick, we don't just go with color, we go with what is actually available for you guys to get. So you club members have something cute to look forward to, and I will show you mine in August also. And then another club at Fat Quarter Shop is the Chicken Club by Lori Holt. These were all stitched by Colleen Holt of Stitching with the Sisterlies. This is your next release. Her name is Myrtle. It will ship to our club members August 4th. And then it will be available on our website August 14th, which is 10 days after club members get it. The fabric here that Lori picked is Prairie Collection, SKU 12315-basil, and that's all down here if you want to find that. Also, the vintage trim she used is Jazzberry Jam color, large. And then this is a frame that we can link to, Ashley can link to. It's called Norfolk Distressed Gray 8-inch picture frame with matte from Amazon. And then obviously we took the matte off. And then there's no glass. So Lori finishes all of these for us. And then we put her, we put the library card on the back with all the information. Okay, so now I'm gonna talk in depth about Monaco. Needles. Oh, needles. Okay, so this is the Monaco, and basically what this is that paperwork that I just showed you that Denise made. She cut this exactly to those sizes and sent this home. I wasn't home at work that day. I wasn't at work that day. Sorry. So she cut me 2 pieces. I said, don't buy, you need 5? Don't buy 5 because I don't know if I'm going to like it. So we bought 1 to see what I thought. It's very affordable, which is great. And so I stitched this. And if you compare this to this, okay, we're going to zoom way in. So the biggest thing I don't like about Evenweave and Lugana is you can see it's messy. Like, I feel like my stitches pull, like it's never 100% flat. It's just not as like flat, and my stitches are kind of fat. Well, this is awesome because your stitches are amazing. So I really love this Monaco. Like, I might have just found something that I should have found like 5 years ago when I started. It is very stiff, Allie. And when I say stiff, I mean real stiff. So you might like that, you might not. Now that's one thing that Priscilla and Chelsea have always mentioned on their channel. They've always said we love stiff. I didn't realize how stiff they meant. And I wasn't sure when it came home. I was like, oh, I don't know if I can stitch on this because it is like stiff. Like, it will stand up stiff. Where this is like, see how this drapes? So you might be somebody who likes something that drapes. This doesn't. It's stiff. So I'm loving this Monaco, like 1,000,000 times better than the Evenweave. I just don't know how to stitch on Evenweave correctly. So I'm going to do a little demo, and I'm going to show you stitching on Monaco versus stitching on Evenweave. Okay, so I'm just going to pull this thread out of my bag. Oops. Of course it would do that on camera. And kind of show you how I've been stitching with it. But I really did not expect to love this so much. So I'm happy that I tried it, stepped outside of the zone. So I'm going to kind of stitch in the corner of this one. So it's very stiff, but the holes are so easy to see. So you come up, and I always start like this. It's, you know, I get it started. I stitch in rows. The stitches are definitely more sharp and more defined, and the biggest thing is they're flat. So I start out this way, and I stitch in rows. What I ended up doing was kind of doing this kind of thing, and I never ended up using Wonder Clips because the fabric didn't get in my way because it's so stiff. It just stayed where it was. It didn't start draping everywhere, so I didn't even use Wonder Clips. So I just kind of put this finger here and just stitched. Now, of course, I use a light and this is pretty far from me. I just used this finger and then just stitched. I just kept stitching, but I folded it gently because it's so stiff. If you don't do that little fold, you're not going to be able to do the, what is that called? Stitching in hand. You're not going to be able to get that groove. So I'm really excited because on this, I won't have to have wonder clips. And my stitches, look how nice they are compared to, oh, that stitch is ugly right there. Maybe I'll have to fix that. It's probably not noticeable, but if you look at that versus that. And I'm kind of a perfectionist, so I like everything to be very flat. And I will say, I did not have to pull my stitches out. With this one, I'm constantly pulling my stitches out because I miss the hole. And it is even. But if you look here, you can just see the holes better than you can here. So Diane says it seems to work with you instead of against you while stitching. But I'm just super excited because I found something I like that I didn't expect to like. I mean, I would never come on here and just tell you I liked something that I didn't. But I was just so happy because I stitched all of this like in an hour, and that's super quick. Would love some tricks on how you thread your needle between your fingers. Okay. So there you go. I love Monaco. Okay. So to thread my needle, I am using a Pat Carson needle. I know we don't have them anymore. Somebody asked, but I still have some left. And I use Bowen also. And I have some Bowen over here. I can show you how to thread those. They're harder to thread. Okay. So the key to this is pinching right here. Don't look at my nails. They haven't been done in a while. You pinch it and you force it through. So it's the pinch, and the size needle is 26. Now I'm going to show you 28 Bowen. These were in my desk. I'm going to show them to you. Oh, can you put this one back in my bag, please, so I don't forget it? I don't lose it. Okay, so my Bowen, I use 26 or 28, but these were just in my desk, amongst probably 20 other things of needles. These are harder to thread, but you pinch it as tight as you can and you thread it. So it's the pinch that I do. Now, the needle that I've decided that I prefer overall is I've been using the Bowen 26 a lot and the Whitecroft 26. I think it's Whitecroft. Heritage needles. And I do, yeah, so I answered that question. Okay, now I'm going to show you flash sale. I'm going to leave these out because I'm going to show you something with these in a little bit. So today's flash sale is 2 items. Mary Making Mini Love Blooms, this pattern. It does come with 3 tiny buttons. And the Amber Toasted Almond 28 count linen by Witchell. So these 2 are on sale today at a deep discount. And keep throwing your questions in. I'm going to answer all of them. And I am going to show you what's new in the shop. And it will be a lot because I wasn't here last week. So it'll be a little bit more than normal. So the new Stitching with the Housewives came in last week when I was out. So I just showed you monthly weigh-in. And like I said, we sell that as a club, as a pattern, or as a fabric. No, as a pattern and thread kit. Yard Sauce and Americana Bakery are available as patterns, and I think this one's going to be crazy popular. Along with Stitching with the Housewives, we got this new tray, and we had this made for them, and I love it. So I'm going to show you how I've been using it. I've been using mine for about 2 or 3 months because the one I have is actually a prototype. So basically you snap these together. And then it's a little tray, and you just keep your little your leftover threads, and then you dump it in the trash. So when you travel, if you're like on a plane or something, you can just leave it flat. But another thing that I saw on Facebook group, and I don't remember who showed it, but a husband told a wife that if you snap it like this, so if you wanted to, say you were traveling and you didn't want to use it as an ork tray, but you wanted to hide your threads in here, you could do that. So I just saw that on Kimberly's Stitch Squad Facebook group, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's amazing. So thank you to her husband who gave her that idea. So that's brand new, and these will probably we'll probably just keep these in stock forever. New from Country Cottage Needleworks is Beach Boardwalk Surf Shop. Also by Little House Needleworks, Orchard Valley Quilting Bee was an older pattern. It's chart number 123, so a much older pattern, but in our product request form, we had a request for this, so we ordered it for that customer. Quilting ABCs, this is part 3. So part 1 came out in March, part 2 came out 2 months ago, and this is part 3. And it is a 5-part series by Erica Michaels. Pine Mountain Designs, August, Life is Just a Bowl of Cross Stitch. It has 2 patterns for the roll and the pillow. By Shannon Christine, Full Moon Extract. By Lindy Stitches, which is this the top one?
No, bottom European.
European Goldfish Airmail number 3, July. American Goldfinch Bird Crush Club. Lewis's Woodpecker Bird Crush Club. And then From the Heart Needle Art by Wendy, Little Sampler Series. This is Alice's Little Sampler. From Flamingo Toes, she has 2 new needle minders. We carry all of her needle minders, all of her charms, and everything notion-y wise that she produces, we carry, and we sell the most of her needle minders than anybody. So her needle minders outsell ours. So she has a new Shadow the Skeleton Flamingo. I didn't understand it, but I guess it's a skeleton flamingo. And then Haunted Camper Magnetic Needle Minder. So it's like a little camper that's Halloween, and it's got little pumpkins. Really cute. So I love this one. This one I don't understand. Sorry. Bev's my friend. Sorry. Okay, so Kohana is a brand that we're trying out. So we did a Stitchy Talk video on July 11th all about scissors. And this was a brand that Cheryl wanted us to carry. It is, I'm going to tell you, very hard to get the products. Everything is made in Japan, and all of the products, all of the paperwork is in Japanese. So nothing in English. I went through the products, everything in Japanese. So the paperwork is pretty much useless to you guys. But what they have is they keep this red scissor. It's called 4 1/8 Vermilion Fine Scissor. Very expensive. Very smooth. Really nice. I own 1 pair because I wanted to try them out before I bought them for the store. So the red we should be able to keep for a long time. But apparently, if I understand this correctly, each year they do a new color, and those come in limited colors. So this is brand new, very expensive, but since we, and we also did get requests in the video that we did on Stitchy Talk for Kohana. So this is the Vermilion. And then we got silk braid snips in 3 colors. Blue, aqua, and yellow. And they come in these really nice boxes. And again, everything is in Japanese. So these are really cute, so sharp. This I would never trust myself with. I mean, these are like gonna get you. I would cut myself. They do have a sheath. That's what you would call that. And then this is actually thread. So very intricate, very cute. I would not buy these because I would cut myself. And they have a cute little button. But I think they're so cute. It's like I would decorate with it instead. Okay, so that's what we got so far. We do have the new pink scissors on order as a set. They're no longer available individually, and we're hoping they ship that soon. They also sent some needles. So I wanted to do some research, so I bought some. These are the ones I bought. These are how they come packaged. Everything's in Japanese. So if one of you can read Japanese, I will send you a needle pack because I need to know what are these size needles so we can put it on the website. So if anybody could help me with that, that'd be great. Now, so there's the needle pack. It's assorted sizes. This is you get 5. What I wanted to show you is I can't list the sizes. We do have the dimensions in millimeters, but I don't have the size of needles because it's in Japanese. But I wanted to show you they're really big. So if I took this 28 count Bowen, which usually I use the 26, but this is what I had in my desk because I just ordered these last night. Oh my goodness. They're very big. So if you like big needles, Kohana would be great. If you like super thin, I probably wouldn't get them. But again, I don't know the sizes. And I will say the quality of the metal is great. They're just bigger. Okay. Put this back in here so I don't lose it. So yeah, I've been using a combination of Bowen 26, Heritage Whitecroft 26, and Pat's Carson's 26. And then I just have them everywhere. So I just pick up whatever I have. The last item that's new is a bow tool set from 141 Design Company. We had a customer request these. It comes, when you buy the set, you get both. There's only one. You don't buy them separately. And we had a customer request them, and then we noticed she has really cute video on her YouTube channel, 141 Design Company, on how to make bows. We're going to try it out. Hopefully we will like it. So that's what we have that's new, and I'm going to go back and start answering questions. The way that the questions work is I answer any question that comes in that I know the answer to. And then at the end, a couple of questions don't get answered because there's actually a lag time between the time you're watching and I'm talking. So sometimes your questions come in after I'm done. So Amy Clayton asked, does the PDF version of the patterns with Robin Pickens work with Pattern Keeper? I don't know because we don't have I don't use Pattern Keeper, so I don't know. Okay, Tammy says, I know the Net Stitchy Talk is all about frames. Would you be able to show how to use Aura floss? I would like to learn how to separate the floss. I recently received some. Okay, so I can do that next Wednesday. We'll add that to our follow-up. Not as part of Stitchy Talk, because I like the Stitchy Talks to kind of stand on their own. But it's not going to be next Tuesday. It was supposed to be. It's going to be the 8th. Because next Tuesday I am volunteering for drill team something, raise money, something, anybody. Yeah, I got to raise money for the drill team next Tuesday for 5 hours. So it will be August 8th. But I will demo the Aura Floss next Wednesday's live stream at the end. Dorothy Van Meer. How many cross stitches per hour or how many squares per hour should you be able to do an hour that you should be doing that you are not slowly running behind? I feel I'm slow and behind all the time. So I might count that. I've never done that. But what I do count, I will tell you what I do. And I will show you with the Mary what I did. So I kind of give myself a goal, and I count as I stitch. Not to count my stitches, but just to keep myself busy. So on here, what I did is I kind of, as I was stitching, I had a rule. I could not get up until I had done at least 500 stitches. So if I had to go to the bathroom, I'm like, oh, you can't get up. I just kind of kept counting as I went, and I try to get to 500 before I let myself get up. But I haven't counted per hour. I can say that with one strand of floss folded in half, since I do the loop method, I can get about 80 stitches per strand. So I do count that. Can we have Robin Pickens as a guest on the show? We have a guest list that we're going to start doing. She's not on our guest list yet, but she could get on the guest list. And I'm excited. So the new guest is going to be here 2 weeks. Debbie Gendra asks, how about using one strand? Oh, so on the, let me show you which one she's talking about. So in the evergreen, at the top where the star is, what about using one strand of cherry tomato and one strand of the cobbler, pink cobbler? So that'd be a great idea. Since I've already stitched mine, I'm gonna either leave it that way or just stitch with one strand on top so I don't have to unstitch anything. Robin B says, Primrose Cottage said the only one not to stitch was the big tree star, as it will show. So I'll have to look at that later. Oh, what is the sunboard you keep in your bag? Those are design boards, and the size I keep in my bag are the 10-inch. So if you search design board Lori Holt on the Fat Quarter Shop website, you will see those. Val Earl asks, when is it that Cheryl stitches on Halloween on Hawk Run Hollow? Which days? So she stitches on the 13th of the month and the 31st of the month. And if there isn't a 31st of the month, she only stitches on the 13th that month. I think I have that correct. Sorry, Cheryl, if I don't. AG Historical Dolls asks, is there a difference in the Q-Snap versus the Frank Edmonds? Yes, there is. And we will go over that on the August 8th Stitchy Talk. Deborah says, great job, Jordan. Welcome to the Stitchy Club. Yay! When will the new Lori Holt kit ship called Welcome Home? Can you go to the website real quick? And I'll know the answer, actually. I just need to look at the product to make sure I've got it right there. Scroll down. It is in stock. So if you pre-ordered that, oh, it's not, you did, that one wasn't a pre-order. That's in stock now, so you can order it now. I'm looking for a light blue fabric that's dark enough to show white stitching for a wedding sampler. I prefer 14 count Aida. I do not have a local shop where I can see colors in person. Okay, email Cheryl, CHERYL @fatquartershop.com and tell her what white thread you're using and put this in it so she knows what you're asking. And then she can lay a white thread, the white thread you're using, on it and send you a photo and see what you think. Carmen asks, does Kimberly stitch in rotation or one at a time? So I stitch about 10 things at one time, but what I'll do is, like, for example, with this, I'll sit down and stitch until this one's done. And then I will pull out Santa's Bake Shop, stitch that till I'm done. Peppermint House, stitch that all at once. So it's kind of like all together, but one at a time at the same time. Carolyn Bernard Young, can I explain the stitch cards? I'm not understanding what they are and what we do with them. Returning stitcher after 40 years. So those can be individual products, or you can stitch 4 together. A lot of people do that. But we are going to have a sampler type thing with that, but it's going to be in 2024, and it's going to be pretty big. Do we sell 14 count Silver Moon Aida fabric by Swigart? No, we can order that today. We'll put that on the list to order if we don't have it. We didn't see it. Are the hands of the Kohana plastic or metal? Okay, let me show you both so I can answer it correctly. This one is fabric. No, thread. This one is textured thread. Do you think this is plastic or metal? It's smooth. Let me see. I don't want to answer wrong. It's plasticky. I don't know if it's plastic or metal. Jordan's going to see if he can tell. It's plastic. But it's really soft. Thank you so much, Kimberly, for showing my cross stitch. Yay! Hi, Robin. You guys can comment and say hi to Robin. Do I stitch 2/2 on Monaco? Yes, I did. How long do you cut your strand of floss? So when I'm using fancy floss, I just leave it how it comes. If it's DMC, I cut it into 8 strands, which comes out slightly about 40 inches. And if I do Weeks Dye Works, that comes in 5 yards. So those I actually cut into 4 strands. Because when I'm cutting, I'm sitting in my chair, so I'm not next to a ruler where I can measure. So that one I cut into 4 strands, which comes out to like 45 inches. Jennifer Annis asks, do I use a paper pattern or do I use another app for following the pattern? How do I track my stitching? I use a paper pattern. Priscilla uses a iPad. Lori Holt uses paper. I just use paper. I'm pretty tech. I'm a tech dummy, so I wouldn't even know how to use. I don't own an Apple iPad. I don't even own one of those, so I wouldn't even know what to do. I just use a paper, and then I keep track of my stitching with the line keeper. Let me see if I have one in here. So I put this on my paper, and that's how I keep track, and I move it up or down. Oh, Barb Wells, that was my hubby with the stitching with the housewife or tray. Well, tell him great. Thanks for telling us, because I would have never thought of that. And when I first saw it, I told Denise it looked like it was a sandwich cut in on the diagonal, and I was like, how did they get it to do that? And I had to like sit and read the whole thing to know what you did, but it was amazing. T. Dell asks, when will 28 count light taupe 28 count Lugana be available? Later this week. Am I going to show how to finish your My Sunshine quarterly pattern? Next week. I'm not doing a demo though, I'm just showing the info. Tammy says, don't throw your leftover strings away, put them in a small jar. Oh, and then the next part I'm not going to answer because that can be controversial and people argue over that, so I'm not going to read the next part. When will Lori Holt's Hometown Quilt Seeds neighbor blocks be available? They are being cut right now. There are 9 of them. We have pre-sold hundreds, if not thousands of those. So we are cutting them, packaging them right now, and they're shipping out next week. So guys, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed seeing Robin Pickens. We do have a giveaway. Because I love the Monaco so much, I'm going to give away 5 of these. What I want you to do, because I was so shocked that I actually liked something, because I can be so picky, what is a product that you've used in the cross-stitch world that you thought, oh, let me try this, probably won't love it, but ended up loving it? Because I think that'd be great for other people to see. We're going to pick 5 winners, and we'll announce them in the community tab next week, but we're giving away 5 tea-dyed Monaco. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next Wednesday. Bye!